This is going to be kind of a hybrid video, because we're going to be talking about a guy who's been very, very good, and then we're also going to be talking about a ridiculous trade idea that was tossed out there by TSN Zone on Twitter. So, yesterday, if you missed it, Marat Kusnedinov and the Boston Bruins rallied past the New York Islanders in a shootout. 4-3 decision. And the Islanders had some pretty notable names getting on the score sheet. In particular, you had Bo Horvat getting his 8th and 9th on the year in this hockey game. Bo ended up scoring these goals in the way that Bo Horvat generally finds ways to score goals, on the rush, with some speed, coming in and just sniping it by Jeremy Swayman. Let's take a look at the other goal that Bo ended up scoring here. It's yet another one of these plays, and it's the other way. Yeah, here comes Bo right into the zone. He shoots, he scores. It's a beautiful display of north-south snipage out of Bo Horvat. He's always been good at that. That was the best part about him in Vancouver. And with all this conversation on Bo in Vancouver, well, might I remind you, his last season in Vancouver saw him put up 31 goals in 49 games played, with a bunch of those goals looking like that. There also were some really amazing highlight reel goals too, in particular the 10 goals he scored in 17 playoff games in the bubble. That was a total display of dominance. Dangles and dekes and on-the-rush plays. Bo Horvat was such a monster. Best two-way guy in the league? Absolutely not, but definitely one of the most exciting players to watch if you cheered for the team that he plays for. Now, Bo has 9 goals and 6 assists in 13 games. He's on pace for 95 points and 57 goals on the season. Now, it's quite ridiculous because this goal production, it's not that off compared to what he did in his last season in Vancouver before being traded to the island in general. And now, we have a whole bunch of conversations about Bo Horvat and what he's been doing. Stefan Rosner said this: "I know Horvat had looked good in an Islander sweater, but right now, he's looking like the guy who had scored 31 goals in 49 games with the Canucks before being dealt to Long Island. 45 goals written all over him this year. He reminds me of Pierre Turgeon, different style, but the goals and assists are piling up. If he can net back a massive haul, you have to do it. It's not my job, but if Darsh truly believes they're close and he's seeing something I'm not, Horvat is an obvious hold. He's gonna score 50, next captain. Oh man, Bo is doing so well, and it seems like they all love him over there too." Then you had this stupid reply from NHL Watcher: 2-goal game for Bo Horvat. What were the Canucks thinking when they made that deal? Can't even remember who they got. Beauvillier? LOL. And essentially, they got themselves Filip Hronek in the trade. Hronek is now a top pairing defender, a far cry from Anthony Beauvillier. Worse than I thought? Oh man, come on NHL Watcher, I love you, but he's really going out there and flaming the Canucks fanbase here. But here's the thing. For all the good that Bo Horvat has been doing, you will see some replies to this story in New York that steer another direction. And one by Eric Makramala, who does work for TSN Radio in Ottawa, and he does stuff for Edmonton and Montreal, CTV, ESPN, SiriusXM. He went out there and tweeted this a few days ago: "Bo Horvat would be a perfect fit for the Canadiens. Left shot center, complete player, great on faceoffs, hard worker, strong offensive player, and 30 years old. Laine going the other way would make the money work." That being said, it's unlikely to happen. The Isles love him, and for good reason. So, I just wanted to let that idea breathe for a little bit. Bo Horvat's doing very well. But Patrik Laine? The money does work. $8.7 million for Laine. Bo was making $8.5. Bo goes on till 2031. Laine, his contract expires this year. Essentially, if the Islanders wanted to grab themselves a haul for Bo, whom I'm going to say here, I've been getting tweets, people telling me in the comments of my videos and on Twitter and stuff like, hey, Bo is not getting traded, he's not going anywhere. But you gotta think, man, like if the Islanders just don't find ways to win, they could get so much for this guy. And I'm not just straight up talking about Patrik Laine. Obviously, the tweet here from Makramala, it just says Horvat for Laine, but it's not like he's insinuating 1-for-1. Absolutely not. That's not the case here. But Montreal has prospects and picks to burn. We have seen this over the past few years of Kent Hughes' tenure with the Canadiens. Head over to their Puckpedia page and see all the draft picks that the Montreal Canadiens have. In the 2026 NHL Draft, Montreal has their own first. They've got 2 seconds, a third, 2 fourths, a fifth, a sixth, and 2 sevenths. Then things just kind of stabilize. So maybe not as much as they used to have. They had a whole bunch of draft picks in prior years, which is why they were able to get Noah Dobson. But hey, I'm kind of thinking, they already made one trade with Matthew Darche. What about another? What about sending over some other prospects and Patty Laine's big, massive, stinking deal over to New York to get Bo Horvat off of their hands? He would be an amazing center option behind Nick Suzuki, and one that would absolutely pack a punch alongside of Ivan Demidov's playmaking skills. All Bo needs to do is just park his big behind, because he does have a big behind, in front of the goal, and Ivan Demidov can just hang out in Gretzky's office, send in the puck, and it's in every single time. Like, Bo Horvat scoring all these goals on the rush, doing these things with the New York Islanders, yes, that is amazing, and he'll continue to do that pretty much for as long as he's able to stay mobile. But I want to get that Bo Horvat bumper position back up and running like he was doing with the Vancouver Canucks on the power play. This season was incredible. He scored so many goals on the man advantage, just parked in front and receiving those passes from the goal line. And he was on pace for however many goals he was on pace for that season. It was incredible out of Bo. So Vancouver selling high on him, getting what was inevitably Aatu Räty and Phil Hronek out of the trade. I think it's fine, but he's doing so well right now, and it's very difficult to think about Bo Horvat in a negative light based off of what he's doing in the island. Meanwhile, Patrik Laine, he's been struggling hard. 1 assist, 5 games played. Obviously, he hasn't played for quite a while. He got hurt again. And for Patty Laine, this would really just be sending over money so that the Islanders could make a Bo Horvat trade work. I'd think that honestly Laine has negative value here. Maybe not a lot, because the money working itself out does provide some solace in the trade, but you're probably looking at Montreal sending away a whole bunch of significant assets to get a guy like Bo Horvat on their radar. But as we mentioned, the NHL's pretty tight right now. If you go over to the Metro and what's going on over there, hey, the Islanders are outside of the wild card, but only by 1 point. And they are outside the top 3 in the Metro only by 2 points. So the Islanders not doing all too poorly, if we're being honest. Literally every team in the Eastern Conference is at or above 500. That's ridiculous. And Florida is the worst team in the East right now. Crazy stuff going on in the NHL with the parity. So my point is, for now, maybe the Islanders don't see Bo Horvat as a movable option considering how tight the playoff race is. But as the year goes on, we'll see whether or not Bo enters the trade conversation, and if a guy like Patty Laine could be sent over to Long Island for him. Let's get Laine and Drouin playing on a line together. How does that sound? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about how Bo Horvat has played so far and what his career is looking like post-Vancouver. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to hit the like button. If you didn't, the dislike button's down there for you too. Thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video. Sign on, and bye.